Good evening, good evening. Welcome to part two of the show, discussing the truth about our world that's being forced into a new world order, and we're stopping it here at America's Third Party. They keep pushing their new world order agenda on us, and the Democrats and Republicans are sucked right into it. That's why they're pushing gun control. They want to disarm the population. And I want to show you a video after video explaining the fakery that's been going on, like the recent New Zealand shooting deaths, where they didn't have any deaths, according to the video. But I can't even play it on our recorded broadcast, or they will kick off the video and they'll maybe put a strike on my account. Now, I'll play it later after 10 o'clock tonight. Thank you for the link, Scissorfight. And we can certainly record it, in other venues. I'm going to add it to my list of things that we want to add all kinds of videos together. I'm going to be doing a lot of new videos for 153. I'm still in the developmental stage on it. But when we have all that ready to go, I certainly want to pursue those on recorded broadcasts. But right now we have to deal with the UHF feed with a large testicle over my face. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with our show. It's being attacked all over the place and also rebroadcast, thankfully, by UHF people around the world. But this has been ongoing. They don't want to get the message out. They're worried about this third party forming. And it is kind of serious when we got threats last week from a group of people claiming to work for the Rothschilds, which would be the creators of the New World Order, the people that are behind this. We were told that I couldn't do a broadcast anymore, and they wanted to pay me $300 million to stop doing the show. And because the show is so popular worldwide, they're really worried. And they've even got people in here who get money, like Tree Rock Wood. He actually gets money to come in here and say, your show sucks and you can't take the hint. Yeah, and then I have to ban him. But these people get money to come in here and say that stuff, believe it or not. There's a whole series of people profiting from the backside of this entire show, right? Yeah. See, we agree. I agree with myself. So this bypasses the testicles that the military signal puts over our show when they bypass the UHF feed. They overtake it with their signal. So the people that are broadcasting are then overtaken by the military feed because the UHF feeds are owned by the military. The U.S. military has total control over the military bandwidth. So they could do anything they want. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I know our show is great, and I have every reason to believe that we're going to continue to raise awareness for the chemtrails that are flying over our head, the dangerous chemicals that the New World Order is trying to pollute us with. We're going to raise more and more awareness of this as time goes on. I'm not giving up. In fact, I'm expanding out, and we're growing in almost every direction. When somebody tells me I can't do something, and they've been trying to stop me, offer me $300 million to stop and cease and desist what I'm doing, and tell me I can't run for political office. When somebody tells me that, it just creates an even stronger desire to get better and greater. Hunter S. Thompson said something very important here. He said, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. And that's about the best example I can of what we're doing. Doing this over and over again every day, 10 years in a row, is not some light task, believe me. Very few people in the world could pull this off. Not the failing president you have, the Trump stump. He couldn't pull this off for more than 1 hour. He has an attention span of about 50 minutes, or actually an hour and 24 minutes as long as he's being paid by the gun control lobby to talk about bump stock. Because he did spend 1 hour and 24 minutes with a bunch of kids down at Parkland shooting area, which that alone should be called fake news. But he stood by that and he wants gun control, and it's sick. Guy took $30 million of the NRA's money. I'm sure that came from Russia. Parts of it. That's right, Deeker. More and more UHF and VHF viewers are added daily to the millions. And Mark, you can't hide the signal. We just showed you a link earlier of how many people were in our room a couple days ago. We had 981,000 guests trying to get into our show. And they can't. They're blocked. Mark gets millions of dollars to stop people from getting in here. All right, Ireland, I think you reached the end of your rope there. In my local area, I was completely censored, and they made a big deal about the fact that I impersonated Barack Obama in blackface. They called me a racist, and I've never said a racist thing in my life. They said that any time a person does blackface, it's racist. Well, how else was I supposed to impersonate a very bad New World Order puppet president who happened to be black? Do a whiteface? Well, let's be clear. Michael and I are deeply involved in a homosexual relationship. I mean, give me a break. And then when all that story of his birth certificate came out, when Donald Trump acted like it was his idea, it was my idea. I'm the original birther candidate. I wouldn't doubt we're going to see Osama bin Laden bubble up any day now. Yeah, your physics professor is a complete educated fool. Chemtrails are being dumped on our heads daily. If he did a little research, he'd find that the canisters that are being used by Evergreen Air actually have a patent on them. The skin looks orange because the lighting has been affected. At 9 o'clock, my sepia tones kick in on the computer, so I have to change the configuration of white balance. I have to add a little light, and yeah, I can't even get it to look right because it's the sepia on the monitor. Yeah, I can't really correct that. I can lighten it a little bit. Is that better? All right. Thank you. So if you're in love with Kim Jong-un and you want to have a relationship with him, Donald, then go right ahead. But you didn't achieve anything with nuclear disarmament. If anything, your entire meeting with Kim Jong-un was set up by Lavrov working for Putin. Trump never even lifted a finger, and Pompeo just took orders from the Kremlin. Our country's being run by Russia, people. Here's a speeding semi that gets smashed. Okay, that looks good. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey, we're going to see a lot of those. This 11-foot by 8.com, which is the height that a lot of these things are supposed to be rated for. We'll play that tonight. Thank you. 8 minutes of tragic crashes. Tensions flare in a long and complicated relationship between Pete Buttigieg and Mike Pence. Buttigieg is the homosexual complaining about Mike Pence. And now Karen Pence responds to Buttigieg's criticism of her husband. They've always had a great relationship. Whatever, who cares? Barr's redactions could spark more displeasure from the Mueller team. Basically, Barr put his own own take on the entire obstruction case. And as I said before, Barr is being controlled by Russia. He wrote a 19-page letter in total defense of Michael Flynn before we found out Michael Flynn was working for Russia. So therefore, William Barr should definitely recuse himself and completely retract his 4-page assessment, which is a crock of crap. There's clearly obstruction involved, and clearly there's collusion, and anything William Barr says is coming out of the Kremlin. 24 charged in $1.2 billion Medicare scheme, the U.S. says. See what I mean about ripoffs? They're fleecing your tax dollars with Medicare. At least the feds are taking down 1 billion Medicare fraud scheme. That's a start. Okay, let's take down one camera because one of the testicles dropped. We're good to go now. Okay, thank you. Apparently it was like Adolf Hitler. He only had one testicle. We only had one testicle over the camera this time. And we got the network of global corporate control, Karen Hudas, who's the former World Bank attorney who's stepping out on her own, challenging the hierarchy and hegemony of these people.
Expressed on any program are those of the producer and are persons appear.
Jim Kim and Christine Lagarde. They're just impersonating the offices because the Board of Governors is in control, and we are in control. Don't be fooled about the number of people.
You know what I did last night? Scissorfied, I had her other one last week. We could barely hear it. And her audio is so low, I almost think we should take her YouTube her pictures and pump them up with audio enhancement and put them on 153, You know what I found out? I want to share this with you. Speaking just to Scissorfied, could you all give us a private moment? Thank you. I didn't do any movie last summer, no. Anyway, check this out. She is reading off a teleprompter. When she talks, she reads off a teleprompter. I did some sampling of her last 30-minute version. She's actually believes that she's being hit with electronic radiation, voice-to-skull technology. This poor woman is under so much stress that she was reading the teleprompter and she says, I know you've taken this off the teleprompter. She had written into her speech the discussion of the 5G network and how it's affecting. They tried to extract it from her speech. She actually spoke over it and spoke over the teleprompter. But if you listen to last week's version, she really believes that she's being attacked, targeted. She's a targeted individual. And there are people out there that believe that this is real. Oh, it was a joke? Okay. Don't ever recite anybody like that piece of crap who's jealous of me, because I have far more views than he'll ever get. I've had over 640 million views on Vaughn, and he's jealous. He leaves his camera on in his house and he walks around in his underwear and he thinks that's funny. He's just jealous. Anyway, the Michelle Obama penis picture is established. But anyway, I was getting back to this. I'm thinking I'm going to take a lot of her work and close in on it and audio amp it because I can barely hear it. Listen to this.
That are part of the coalition for the rule of law that's now of critical mass and working together to clear up the corruption. The counters on the internet are inaccurate.
So I'm going to have to do something with her, maybe pump it up. Well, she was talking about being a targeted individual with voice-to-skull technology. She thinks that somebody's attacking her brain. She's a very intelligent, brilliant young or older woman who would be more than likely my first choice for Federal Reserve Chairman. Oh, I know. I could easily make the audio louder with just running it through a filter. It's no big deal. But I can enhance her audio at Windows Movie Maker and just pump it out on 153. I'm thinking that might be better. Anyway, it's hard to imagine having to play this because, I'm adding it to the link, but I don't think it's going to mean anything because we can barely hear it. Okay, Congress is trying to make taxes harder. You remember Trump wanted to make them easier and it ended up costing extra money. Everybody's paying more money for taxes this year. Yeah, Congress is set to pass a bill making taxes harder. They're going to ban IRS from making tax filing free and easy. This is the opposite of what you'd think they would do. This is ridiculous. This is exactly why Congress, the two-party system, is inept. They want to make it harder for you to make taxes. I agree. My whole point was to do one-page flat tax. Trump called it his way of making it easier, but he never copied my flat tax. He just made it easier in his mind. And we have Madison Star Moon. Do you know what chemtrails are? That looks good. Yeah, it should be a simpler tax return. Exactly, Deeker. And look what YouTube is doing now. Every time Madison Star delivers a show on chemtrails, check this out. YouTube automatically puts a contrail indicator here explaining what contrails are. Contrails, also called condensation trails or vapor trails, steamer of clouds sometimes observed behind an airplane flying in clear, cold, humid air. It forms upon condensation of water vapor produced by the combustion of the fuel. Blah, 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 blah. Has nothing to do with this. Chemtrails are not contrails. Far from it. Yeah, a flat tax at 10% is the way to go. And a single page, really. Everyone would pay one page of tax returns. In the ideal system, you wouldn't have to file more than one page. There would be no itemization because you'd get no tax credits, no tax deductions other than your $50,000 minimum graduated tax deduction. A 10% tax on everything below everything above $50,000 is what I'm proposing. People making over $50,000 would pay only 10% on the money over above that $50,000. So this would encourage a lot of investors in American business, enterprise, banking. Hello, yes, can I help you? I can't hear you. Could you speak up? I can't hear you. You just don't sound very good. You sound like you're going to die of emphysema pretty soon. You may want to talk to a lung doctor because I think you've got the beginning stages of lung cancer. And I hate to say, but you may be coughing up blood in a couple weeks. I'm referring to the caller who just called in. He's like, jeez. Yeah, they just don't want to make it free and easy. Yeah. Okay. Boy, those two parties are really working for us, aren't they? Not. And as if you didn't think that Donald Trump was colluding with the Ashkenazis, Zionists, and Russian oligarchs, here's proof.
Jared Kushner, Senior Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Ashkenazi Jew. Yael Kushner, Ivanka Trump, Executive Vice President, the Trump Organization, Senior Advisor, Donald J. Trump for President, Executive Committee Member, Trump Presidential Transition Team, Orthodox Jewish convert. Bennett LeBeau, donor, Trump Victory Fund, Ashkenazi Jew. Richard Lesser, member, President Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum, Ashkenazi Jew. Ronald Lieberman, Executive Vice President of Management and Development, the Trump Organization, Ashkenazi Jew.
And he's got all these people, like I said earlier, Banaford, Flynn, Roger Stone, all these people are Ashkenazis, Donald Jr., all working as associates to the Trump enterprise, and all of them that met with Russians. So how in the hell could you possibly say that there's no collusion? Makes no sense. So yeah, you've come to the center of, the total collusion is at play here. I have no problem discussing that in every detail at every single turn. I don't mind talking about that or any other questions that you may have. If you're a Democrat who wants to know what these chemtrails are, we can talk about those. You want to know the dangers of genetically modified food? We can talk about that. There's no holes barred here. And unlike many Democrats who are not with the program I started 10 years ago, Weed the People, I support full legalization of marijuana as soon as I become president. That's the first order, executive order I will issue. No prosecution of anyone growing pot in America until we can sort out the rules requiring the total plants needed. I think 6 plants per use, like in California, per year, per person. That's probably our target. But I will drop all federal prosecution of marijuana, except people transporting in and out of the country. Well, it turns out that Ivanka and Jared Kushner and all those other Ashkenazis were good friends of...
Good.
We're good friends of a group of synagogue people in New York called the Chabad Leibovitch. And the Chabad Leibovitch group is the center, the connection between the Russian oligarchs and the Jewish community in Long Island, New York. They're the ones that arranged the loans that Donald Trump got, or gifts of money that he got from Russian oligarchs. That's how it all started, in case you wondered. And if you think there's no collusion, think again. It's all over the place. It's going on as we speak. These people are colluding, working to control our destiny of our country, and not coming up with solid solutions to face the future, to create a sustainable economy for this nation. We even wrote a book about it, Hybrid Capitalism, where we talk about how we could build this country up and fix it. But again, we need power to do that. We can't do it with just talk, unfortunately.
They're destroying everything that has made this nation great. White folk getting ready to rise up. They don't want to take it no more, and I'm joining them.
So when the white folk rise up, we can count on Reverend Manning to join us. But we're not just white people. We're people of all colors. We're socioeconomically deprived, essentially. We're not given great opportunity. The opportunity is shrinking for the average person in America.
Good evening. I'm still reporting.
Good evening. Deep state nearing collapse. This guy's got his AdSense revenue up to about what other people are doing. There he is. He's going to talk tonight about the collapsing deep state. There are a lot of people on the internet that talk about this year after year after year, and how the deep state's collapsing, blah, blah, blah. The deep state is entrenched, and Donald Trump is basically owned by the deep state. But the deep state is very concerned about this right here. Our show is receiving so much viewership, it's unbelievable. 921,000 guests can't even get into this chat room. Mark canceled the guest chat because there were so many people that wanted to talk. He completely shut it down a year and a half ago. The floodgates of people who are trying to get into the show are daily. And that's the real deep state trying to fight back and stop what I'm doing. I'm the only one challenging the deep state. Okay, we got a new story from Money Boy. Let's take a look.
Nigger, nigger, nigger.
See what that is? That's a guy who sent a link in. Hang on. 9:45. Got it. All right, you're out of here. We log in every single video that we do, and that particular YouTube video will be edited before I upload it tonight to pull that word out, which I do in no way condone. Yep. Chemtrail plane turns spray on. Let's take a look.
Jellies are chem clouds. Some people might think they're real. You're not spray plane? Here's more. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see the screen, so I don't know if I'm pointing at it. There it goes. Did it just turn plumes on? Yeah.
It just turned it on. See it?
See that?
Yep.
I
They
think I
turn these
caught
on.
that. I have to go back and look at it, but just turn the blooms on.
Mm-hmm.
Really started there and spraying. Now it's really getting thick. See that? All right, I don't know how much battery I have, so I'm going to stop it.
Okay, I just subscribed to his account. That's a guy who's had 16 accounts created just to defy the censors at YouTube. Look at this. Russ Redfern, number 16. He's had to create 16 accounts to stay alive talking about the chemtrails that are over his house. So you know they're trying to censor anybody who talks about the chemicals being dumped on their head. It's happening every day. Yeah. Wow. And I guess I'm running a risk just showing it on the screen, but hey, I mean, how could you not? I mean, it would be unethical for me not to show you all the chemicals being sprayed above our heads. Okay, we've got new documents on the Google manipulation of the data on their search lists. This story just broke earlier. Yeah. The Daily Caller has a story. Google does manipulate its search engine results manually. Contrary to the company's official denials, documents obtained exclusively by the Daily Caller indicate. Two official policies dubbed the misrepresentation policy and the good neighbor policy inform the company of the XPA News blacklist, which is maintained by Google's trust and safety team. The TNS will be in charge of updating the blacklist as when there is a demand. In other words, this is what we're looking at, the backbone of censorship at Google. The deceptive news domain blacklist is going to be used by many search features to filter problematic sites that violate the good neighbor and misrepresentation policies, according to them. The document reads that it was approved by Gomes at Nyack, Hey, whatever that's. It's Google's head of search who reports directly to the CEO, Sundar Pichai. Pandu Nayak is a Google fellow, and Paul Hayer is a software engineer whose bio on Google's internal network, MoMA, indicates that he's also involved in fringe ranking, not showing fake news, hate speech, conspiracy theories, or science medical history denial unless we're sure that's what the user wants. Wow. Okay, let's take Ben Gomes. Let's take a look at his face at Google. Here is one of the censors that's making decisions for all of us about our free press and our future. Here he is. I don't even know how long these people have lived in our country, but they're making sweeping decisions about who gets to be seen on a country's open internet like YouTube and Google. There's Ben Gomes. It's Ben Gomes. Let's take a look at Pandu Nayak now. These are the people making our decisions. Who gets to stay, who gets to leave. That's the other guy. He's making decisions about our country's free press. All right. And let's take a look at Paul Hayer, the other guy making decisions about what we can play on our Google or YouTube channel. There he is. There he is. He seems like a real fun guy, doesn't he? He gets to decide who gets to be on the internet and who's not. Are you getting the drift here, folks? These monetary elitists are sitting around like a bunch of Nazis deciding what we can talk about in a country that claims to be free and democratic. What a crock of shit. Wow. One world Dave control, yeah. I would never eliminate the dialogue. Even you people who want to criticize me, you can come in here every night hosing us down. That's a broken image over at Scissor Fights link. Yeah, if you people want to come in and hose us down every night, claiming that we're bad because we kick out people that hate on me, thank you. It's a David Taylor. I got it for $5 at the thrift store. You're a total freak. Now, if you were referring to the other guy, the beta male in the screen I was just showing you, I'm sorry I had kicked you for an hour, but you know, the show's almost over, so you can come in and watch videos later. It is a good discussion about Twitter's bias censorship. Joe Rogan's going to actually talk about things, really?
Refuses to say in the United States.
Okay, well, I'll play a portion of this 3-hour show. No, that's ridiculous. Joe Rogan's a complete shill, and there's every reason to believe that with 5 million subscribers on YouTube, he's basically owned by YouTube. Will I play this on our show? No, I won't. It's shillery. It's controlled opposition. They're acting like they're doing something. They're not creating a third party to challenge this at all. This guy is a brain drain. He's run by Sacred Cow Productions, the same people that control Alex Jones. And he's a waste of time. He's a waste of space. Thank you, but no thanks.
You're not going to believe this, but with the vitamin enhancement packet, you will be able to survive the New World Order and the takeover of the Armageddon that's coming.
I'm not owned by anybody. That's my point. I have a free show. They make tons of money censoring me. Are you retarded? We've been over this. Jeez. What are you, retarded? I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I mean, would you like a good job working at the market? You could pick up bags and help stuff boxes and stuff. Jeez. Why do I live like this? It's a great line from a movie, Twinkle, Twinkle, Killer Kane. Or The Ninth Configuration. One of the best movies ever made, I think. Yeah, this is by far one of the most amazing movies. 1980, wow. The Ninth Configuration. Why do I live like this? Great movie. It's about a group of mental patients that were in a military mental hospital. And it was run by a guy who was, they thought was in charge. His name was Kane. And it turns out he was completely psychotic, played by Stacy Keach. And it was originally called Twinkle, Twinkle, Killer Kane because this guy was a complete nutcase. Anyway, it's a great movie if you ever get a chance to see it. It's really heady. It's an intense experience watching it. All right, moving on. Thank you very much for attending our show. We got 6 more minutes. Okay.
Anyway, I want to talk about my vitamin enhancement pills and maybe we can get to my fruit enzyme spray.
You know, I'm not even selling anything on this show. I'm not trying to profit from any of this. I've never made a penny doing this. So they don't own me like they own Joe Rogan and Alex Jones and Donald Trump. All those greedy people, they are owning those people. You know what really pisses off the Rothschilds? When somebody won't accept money from them. Now, I told you that this group representing the Rothschilds offered me $300 million to stop doing the show and to stop doing a run for the presidency. And most people would say, Dave, why don't you take the money? What's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you take $300 million? Because I don't suck Satan's dick. I don't care about your money. You can stick it up your ass. Evil begets evil. You cave into evil and they own you. Never forget that. Every single person, every scumbag that comes in our room and tries to manipulate our chat. And every single day we get people crapping on our main chat room at America's Third Party. I have to go in and clear virtually every one of these things. Because they're so frustrated what we're doing. Is a daily event, and they can't understand why I just do it every day. They don't understand. These people live on money that they get millions of dollars to censor us every day. And what's really ironic is they can't understand a person like me who makes nothing, not a single penny in 10 years. To do this show. They can't get it. They don't understand what makes me tick. whereas they're completely viable. I'm not viable at all. All right. And it's the good people like myself against the evil people that are trolling us for cash. And I'm holding this whole thing together with my integrity and unwavering commitment to the future of this country. And I think a lot of people undervalue that. If you voted for Trump, you voted for a corrupt, greedy pig. If you voted for Bernie, you voted for a millionaire who can't even get away from the fact that he's got tons of money, and now his own people are questioning whether he's legit or not. Bernie is actually being questioned by his own people why he's a millionaire. I'm not in any way apologizing for being a person who lives at the poverty level. I'm actually proud of that fact in some ways. Johnny, there's all these, if you've gone to our website last week or the week before, you would have seen a guy posting how to contact him to make money censoring us. So I can put you on Bark's payroll right now, Johnny. Let me just ban you. Yeah, that automatically gets you in good favor with Mark. Bernie Sanders explains why he's a millionaire. Well, I made a lot of money on book sales. I wrote a best-selling book. He told the paper. He likes money. He likes money. He's in the 1%. And now he's trying to answer to why he spends $300,000 on private jet travel in a month. A guy who's supposedly committed to climate solutions, blasting fumes in the air. What a hypocrite. It's people like that that's making our country look like crap around the world. People with no integrity or two-faced liars who are just spilling the crap that the Democrats, the New World Order, want to spill. Or the Donald who spills the New World Order Russian crap they want to spill. You see, the Russian oligarchs are cut out of the same cloth as the AIPAC supporters. They're from the same Zionist clan. Both Ashkenazis, both trying to rule the roost and always maneuvering for more power.
Howard Lorber, donor, Trump Victory Fund, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. David Malpass, member, Trump Economic Advisory Council, Ashkenazi Jew. Douglas Manchester, donor, Make America Great Again PAC, Ashkenazi Jew. Bernard Marcus, endorser, Donald J. Trump for President, donor, Rebuilding America Now PAC, donor, Make America #1 PAC, Ashkenazi Jew.
And, you know, I have nothing against Jewish people. I like Jewish people, but these people are Ashkenazis. They're not even Jewish in the eyes of the Orthodox Jewry. Zionism isn't even authorized by Jewish rabbinical experts. They say it's a complete hoax, but it's destroying relations with countries and people. The Muslim friction between Israel and the Muslims is all due to Zionism. There's no evidence of this friction prior to the origin of Zionism, which came out in the 1880s. This is a long plan they put in motion for years to try to control the world and the destiny of the world. They call it a New World Order, but it's really the old monarchy of the past. It's a conglomeration of people together working with hidden powers around the globe to form a triumvirate, if you will. You've got the Zionists, AIPAC control. And that also extends to the Russian oligarchs as well. I should expand on that. AIPAC here in the U.S., funding and controlling our elections. And oligarchs as well on the East. Then you've got the Vatican and their network of control over Italy and the mob. And at the end of this little magical little triumvirate, we have the Masons, who've been around for a lot longer than all of them and date back to the Knights Templar and Sir Francis Drake. This is the architecture of the hidden world of monetary control that has dominated our world. And we're all fighting it every day. Every day we're dealing with this underbelly of corruption. They're the ones that architect the architects of the New World Order or the old monarchies. They're the ones trying to steer our globe into global world domination. They're the ones that are allowing for misuse of power, and they're the ones that have hijacked America in many ways. So we're up against these people, the worst of the worst, and they want to entrench their power and maintain it over us so much that they want to incarcerate us, much like the Jews were put in concentration camps. It's the same plan all over again. Now, either you wake up and face the music and realize the need for a third party to stop these scumbags, or you just be part of the future burial grounds of the mass graves that are coming, that will be implemented, whether you like it or not. It'll start with forced inoculations, gun control. Both the Republicans and Democrats will be pushing for this. Unless we have an alternative to this sick plan of the New World Order, we will be stuck in the crosshairs of their evil, evil plan. So thank you for coming in and listening to our show. And don't forget to tell people that I do support legalization of marijuana, recreational across the board. That's a selling feature. People like that. Democrats won't fully commit. It's taking forever for people to commit to that, even in the Democratic Party. All right, take care. You know that there are groups of people that won't even vote, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, because they believe that Jehovah is going to solve all these problems. Really? Okay, whatever. Okay, we got some good music from tonight. We got little trailers for sale or rent with Roger Miller at the end of our show, and great views of movies. Thanks for coming in, Add the One. Take care. Yeah, we got lots of things happening. I am David Sponheim, and I am Mr. Right. See you later.
My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. You spin my world around, cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good.